4 issues that came up during that Browns loss to the Bengals on Sunday. Lance, number one, lack of run game, pass protection. Talked about this a lot, too. Take us through this.
Well, first thing you're going to see is you're going to see a lack of movement in the run game. So all year they've had lack of movement. People are playing in their backfield. Linemen don't know where they're going. Second clip, you're going to see left tackle Jed Wills get beat around the edge here. He really struggled yesterday. But what you're getting is you're getting the idea of this is all Deshaun Watson. This is not all Deshaun Watson. And as a football coach, I refuse to say one person is in charge of why this is a mess. This is a mess on so many levels. And one of the things they cannot do right now is they cannot run the ball. The reason they cannot run the ball is they're not physically imposing their will like they once did. They're getting driven off the ball. They don't know where they're going. They have more unblocked guys this year than I've seen in the previous 3 years combined in terms of like guys running free because they're missed an assignment. You can get beat because that happens in the NFL. They're all great players. But guys getting not being blocked, that's coaching, that's players not understanding who they have or not following through. And whatever that is, they have to fix that. And I don't care who's behind center. Deshaun Watson has been sacked 70 times in the last 3 years. He's only played 19 games. He's been injured the last couple of years, and a lot of that has to do with his protection issues. And once again, I am not defending Deshaun Watson at all. My point with these clips today is to show you that there's a lot going on with why this organization is struggling. Personnel, fundamentals, why are you doing things? There's a lot of things that are wrong, that things I didn't think were going to be wrong going into this season, and things that I've seen Kevin Stefanski's teams do really, really well in the past. So, pass protection, ability to run the ball have made this really, really tough on whoever's at quarterback.
So number 2 on this, defense trying to do too much to compensate for the offensive struggles. And again, the defense has not been as dominant.
The one thing you're going to see here, bottom of the screen, when the play runs back, you're going to see Zadarius Smith jump inside. And what I see by defensive guys is he jumps inside, he immediately gets hooked by that tackle, and then you give up the edge, so they're not setting the edge. So what happens as a defense is that now the offense isn't playing great. So you try to make plays. Now, the play that they got beat on the back shoulder from Chase, the play that they got beat on slant, those things are going to happen in man coverage. They still played well enough. They only gave up 14 points as a defense. And I will say this, if you only give up 14 points in the NFL, you should have a chance to win. But when you don't score and you know you have to be perfect, you press on defense and you try to do things outside of what you need to do. And that's what's happening with this defense. This is a classic example of just a guy trying to make a play, trying to read the play and not setting the edge because he's trying to make a play. And this defense, some of the issues they have is just that they're trying to make a turnover. They're trying to get good field position. They're trying to do things outside the realms of what they can do because the offense is struggling so much.
So number 3 on the 4 things that came up that were issues, controlling the controllables. So take us through that one.
So again, here you're going as you watch this, you're going to see a mesh concept, and you can see Tillman. This is on the pick, and as this play rewinds, you're going to see Tillman. They're going to have Crossers in front, and then Akins is going to sit in the middle of the field. Now, a number of things can go wrong here. You're going to see the defensive end. He's going to drop into coverage. So Akins should actually be more to his right. He should be in between the hashes, and Tillman shouldn't stop. Or maybe because it's zone coverage, he should stop. And whosever fault it is, and everybody has a little bit of different rules on this mesh concept that we all run from high school, college, to pro. But whatever their rules are, they shouldn't have 2 people in the same spot. And that's what ended up happening here is Tillman tipped this on a ball that was intended for Akins, and then they got a pick. And that's because of the attention to detail, the following through with your job, the offsides, the illegal shifts, the illegal motions, the holding calls, these things that are constantly coming up. And I wouldn't even put holding to that. I'll put like illegal shifts and illegal formations. Just time after time, these things that they have not done in the past, they're now doing. This is a classic example of, you have to know what the rules are versus man versus zone. This is a concept we all run. This is a universal concept, and they're just not right. Is it the coaching? Is it the receivers? Is it the quarterback? Well, we wouldn't know unless we're in the film room, but this is somebody, and this is the thing that they got to get ironed out moving forward.
All right, and the 4th issue that came up during that Bengals game, and this one's kind of been reoccurring. Third phase, you're referring to special teams, is not a wash. It's hurting the defense.
So when I watch an NFL game, you're going to see here, this is not a return for a touchdown that you saw in the opening thing. This is the ball that's caught on the 20. And now, so if the Browns have to protect 80 yards, they're pretty good on defense, but the ball is now on the 40. And now they only have to go 20 yards to be in field goal range. So this idea of hidden yardage, this is what we mean as a coach, hidden yardage. Special teams at the NFL level has to be a wash. And what I mean by that is that it should be a non-factor. Punt returns, kick returns, both sides of the ball, it should be a wash. You should get the ball on the 30 each time. When the ball is punted, you should have a net under 5 yards, in my opinion. So these big kick returns, these big punt returns, these things that are happening, that cannot happen, especially when the offense is struggling. So the Browns, in my opinion, they won their defense. Their defense beat the Bengals. They lost on special teams and they lost on offense. So they lost 2 of the 3 phases, which ended up costing them a victory. So again, this special teams has to be a wash. It has to be a non-factor. Doesn't mean they have to dominate and win. It just means they have to not lose. And that's kind of what it is right now. It's not a wash. It's like you watch every other game. There's nothing really happening special teams because they're so well coached. That's where the Browns have to get to. This has to be a wash. They can't give up hidden yards, and they have to protect that defense.